grappling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops, jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match, with tales and fights that you can't catch. The Marks Podcast is the place to be, for every wrestling mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Chimmel, the GOAT of ring announcers. And you're listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
Really? Really? You have to show off your little meth lab you got going on there?
Well, I was just trying to say we're on fire here.
That being said, welcome to the Marks Podcast. It is Sunday. You know what that means. But before we get started, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up something that happened today. The passing of the one, the only, the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal madman of ECW, Sabu. I don't know, Gerard, if you have anything that you'd like to say about Sabu, but I can say that in my interactions with the man, he was nothing but stand-up. We made a joke about it whenever we did the interview with him, that I was actually late, and he was awesome about it. I've heard people say horrible things about him and finances, but he was nothing but a stand-up guy to me. Wonderful interview. I can say that interview will go down as one of my favorites, not because it was just him, but because it was the first time that my beautiful wife did production and edited one of my Rebelcast videos, and I have gone back and watched that over and over. It is a shame that he did not make millions in a business that he innovated so much.
I'll put it like this. Is there an ECW without Sabu?
Absolutely not, because he was the first.
That's it. There's no ECW without Sabu. That goes to show you the talent the man had. Regardless of what he might have been outside the ring, inside the ring, talent-wise, he brought something different to a table in a time when an industry needed something different. And, that's all you can say. He brought something different. And you've ever heard the expression, I'll put my life, my body, and limbs on the line to entertain? I think he was the epitome of that statement.
I mean, the things he could do with a chair, things he could do with a table. Some people look at a 20 by 20 ring and they just see a box with ropes around it. He looked at it like a playground, like a truly canvas.
Put it this way: the ring to him was what painting was to Picasso.
And if you even look today, the Javon Evans of the world, the people that are doing high flying, they would not be what they are without someone like Sabu. I will say one of my favorite matches, and I discussed it with him, was ECW One Night Stand, Rey Mysterio versus Sabu. Wasn't a big fan of the finish, and we talked about that, but they did such incredible work together. It was, to quote Dusty Rhodes, it was magic when they touched.
You know what the thing with Sabu was, and this is the thing I hope some people can get to understand, is nothing he did came across as scripted. It just seemed like it was out of the box. It didn't look like, because if you watched a lot of his matches, you would wonder, you can't script that. There's no way you can script that. No chance in hell, because of what that man would do to his body. And and the fans always asked for more, and he would give more. For the man to die at 60 years old, would you agree? It's probably 25 years longer than he ever expected to live.
But the way he wrestled like it was his last match, every match, going back to the barbed wire match with Terry Funk where he ripped his bicep open. I mean, he duct taped the bicep, went on I believe 10, 15 minutes and finished the match and just kept going. And I remember the quote was, well, I didn't get any veins or anything, so I knew I was okay.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, wait a minute. Talking about a guy, like I said, he's died. He was 60 years old. he probably doesn't think he probably shouldn't have lived to be 35. So he ended up living a good life. Okay. And you think he wrestled at he wrestled somewhere the weekend of WrestleMania 41. So he was still active.
Still, it's a tragic loss to the business, and for the friends and family of Sabu, we here at the Mark Podcast share our condolences and are truly devastated by the passing of one of the original ECW members and truly one of the greats of all time. But it can't be all doom and gloom. We have a show to do.
Wait a minute. If we're gonna talk about last night, thought we can't be all doom and gloom.
Or Velveteen.
Or Velveteen. So what do you want to do with first? You want to talk about Backlash, or you want to talk about that, Gerard?
Let's go back. Let's go to Velveteen first, for the simple fact, from what we saw last night, we might as well just stay on something positive for a minute.
I don't know if you would say it's positive.
Like I said, I don't know if it can be worse than last night. So let's just stay with. Let's get to the worst last.
Here we go.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you for all the love and support you guys have shown me over the last 24 hours. I mean, it's been like a whirlwind on social media, but I'm kind of used to that at this point in my life. I just want to say thank you because I see the hashtag, we want the dream. And I appreciate that because I want my job back. I have no shame in saying that. I didn't lose my job because I sucked, unlike some people. No, I lost my job because there's this thing called the IWC, and they like to report on fake news because wrestling is fake. It makes sense to me that people who watch something fake, who love fake chaos, will continue to pour into it. But I just want you to know it's really, really affecting me. And since I have been affected, I only feel that it's right that I affect you back. It's called a cause and effect, you know? Because if Patrick Clark can't have pro wrestling, I don't think anybody should. You know, they're going so far as to compare me to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. They call me the most hated man in professional wrestling.
Whatever happened to that guy?
With Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit is a killer. I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Because if you push hard enough, I'll kill pro wrestling for you. Velveteen Dream, that third eye, it wasn't just a gimmick. Patrick Clark has seen a lot, and I know a lot about people you love, people you're still watching on TV today. So the choice is yours, and you've already made it. I'm going to ruin pro wrestling for you. I'm going to make sure that I expose the business. And hopefully, none of us can have pro wrestling.
Okay. Let's start. First of all, let's start with the word fake. You're an idiot for saying the word fake. Okay? It's not fake. It's not Cartoon Land, Velveteen Dream, Patrick. It's not fake. Choreographed, I will always say choreographed, but I will never say the word fake. For you to insinuate the word that it's fake, people get hurt, people get injured. Guys have lost careers because of your fake your fake job. So if it's so fake, why do you have injuries and stuff like that? It's not fake, it's choreographed. Injuries and all that stuff happen. Now, the indie world, the IWC that he calls them, right? The due process of America. That one part I will agree with him on. His due process, the people put him as guilty before he was given due process, which he should have been given his due process. For all the people who didn't want to give him his due process on this, I say shame on them. Everybody should be allowed it. No, because we allow it in the other four major sports. I think professional wrestling has gotten to a point to where it might be considered the fifth major sport in the world, to where something happens with these guys and girls, they should be given the benefit of the doubt, innocent till proven guilty in every aspect of American life. Okay? And for the idiots who compare him to Chris Benoit, you're just idiots. Okay? For him to come out and say, hey, I got things I know that I can go back and destroy professional wrestling. Hey, you know, there's an old movie called Beetlejuice where the guy sitting with the small head had a number that was about 14 digits long. Your number would probably be about 15 digits long. So get in line if you're going to claim that you can destroy professional wrestling as we know, because there's a whole long list of people in front of you that have those same concocted stories that they can come out with and stuff like that. And I guess I can quote Piper here, just saying, dream just when you think you have all the answers. They will change the freaking questions. But when you want to go in one direction, they'll go with another one, and then you will find yourself out of a job all the way. Right now, what I say he should do, keep his mouth shut. Let the things come back into place to where he can
hold on. You know what? Hold on. I gotta cut you off there, because being a fan of the Velveteen Dream aside, that's bullshit. His life, and you and I talk about this all the time. The court of public opinion is bullshit.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
You had a man. No. He has every right to be bitter, because the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community, the YWC, which I've been a part of before, the YouTube Wrestling Community, is a bunch of fucking know-it-alls who apparently are lawyers, prosecutors, judges. They are executioners, and they never give anybody due process. So let's take that and throw that out the window. There's no such thing as due process on the internet. And the internet ruined a man's life. He was on the forefront, and I believe the quote was the next John Cena, except he had talent. The man was killing it at NXT. He was charismatic. He could
no
wrestle.
pun intended.
No shit.
No pun intended. Right?
What up? What up?
Hold on one second, Jacob. I'm going on a tangent.
Yes, but hold on one second, Dan. Well, all I gotta say is this: I have no problem with him saying the IWC part. My problem is this: you can go after the indie wrestling crowd.
It's not the indie wrestling crowd. He's talking about internet. The internet itself destroyed this man's career.
The internet wrestling crowd. Okay. The internet wrestling crowd, I'm saying to you, is if he's gonna play off of that, he's no better than the indie wrestling crowd. He has to rise above those people and say, "Screw you." Okay. The court of public opinion. You know, the sad part is, in the world of professional sports, not just in professional wrestling, the court of public opinion first says you're guilty. Go prove you're innocent. You know, it happens in baseball, happens in football, happens in basketball, happens in hockey. If a guy commits any kind of act, especially an assault against a woman, he's guilty until proven innocent.
But he didn't.
I'm just saying, we all say the charge was out there. He was proven not guilty of it. But
he had to come out and prove it. He had to go out of his way to find it. You know, no one was willing to give the man the opportunity.
But the one thing I'm glad he bring up was Benoit. Maybe if it wasn't for Benoit, he wouldn't have been crucified. He wouldn't have been put. They wouldn't have put the cart before the horse if it wasn't for the Benoit, where they didn't want to take that. Hey, could we be having another thing like that?
I can hold on. I could argue the statement because of Benoit. Maybe they would have waited and made sure they had all the facts before coming out and saying anything.
At the very least, would you agree? We're giving you a time off until we investigate truth. Not let them go. We're gonna like in Major League Baseball, NFL, to where they will say until we find out if this is truth or fiction, we're relieving you until we come back. And if we come to find out you're innocent of this, you'll get your full pay and stuff like that. You're coming back.
They didn't do that, and so I think
they would have. I'm saying to you, do you think it's at the time for now to where the professional wrestling employers get to that point to where they, like I said,
from my understanding, they were trying to hold on to him. But the Backlash, no pun intended, what we're going to talk about later, was so great they had to terminate him.
For who?
They were getting so much criticism talking about WWE itself that they had to terminate him. And I guess they hope that this will just go away.
I have no clue who we're talking about, by the way.
Velveteen Dream.
Who was the person in charge then?
Okay.
Who was in charge?
Your favorite person, Vince McMahon.
All right,
He has
so
enough
hold on.
He had enough of his own shit to worry about. He can't be dealing with Velveteen Dream. But here's the other problem. He was an NXT talent, which fell into who? His son-in-law.
Okay, so here's the thing with Velveteen Dream. I literally just got in, by the way. I was at a swimming pool. You know, I was soaking up the sun for the day, you know, because it's fucking already 100.
Oh, something you can do every day.
No, I can't even do it. It's 102 degrees here already. But if we're talking about Velveteen Dream, here's the thing. Like this, if you want to look up wasted potential.
Was that his fault or was it their fault?
I would say it's 100% his fault.
Hold on. Let Jacob.
He put him again. You don't talk to minors. All right. You know, just don't do it. You know, just don't even put, because again, all the evidence was pointing towards that he was talking to minors.
And he proved that it didn't happen. He proved that it wasn't true.
And again, he proved. And again, see, here's the issue with this situation because of, you know, I could get where this guy's coming out and saying, you know, because again, nothing he has said so far has been lies. He gave EC3 the best match ever because when he talked shit about EC3, I remember this is going back a year ago now. He was talking shit about EC3, gave EC3 the best match. Literally, John Cena like publicly said that, like, you know, like during when Velveteen Dream was popular, John Cena was like, they asked him like, who do you want to work with at WrestleMania? He said Velveteen Dream. So like this guy had all the fucking tools, like everyone was behind him, and because this fucking shit happened, I don't know.
How long has it been?
Again, there's I think in this situation, there's three sides to this story. There's Velveteen Dream's side, there's the fucking weird side, and then there's the truth. You know, something is in the middle because like
how long has it been since he's been gone? I don't know, it's been years.
It's
like
been
4 years. Yeah, 4 years.
4 or 5. I was gonna say at least 5, right?
But
yeah,
I'm not even just talking about the wrestling side. I'm talking about the fact that this guy was blackballed and he didn't do shit wrong. Whether you like him or not, he didn't do shit wrong.
Here's a question for you.
It's a slippery slope though, because of what he was accused of specifically. He's never gonna get rid of that stigma.
But for something he didn't do.
Hey, Dan, here's a question for you.
It doesn't matter, dude. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter because of like the stigma of that. Like, it's never gonna go away.
Hey, Dan and Jacob.
Like, it's unfortunate, but he's never gonna live that down.
Dan, you just mentioned it though. Here's a question for you. You said it in a way to where you don't pick up on it. You said he was blackballed. Is it because he was black?
Well, that in this situation, I don't think has anything to do with it.
I'm saying to you,
I don't think so.
If he was white, would he be?
Well, to be fair, no, because again, but this is what I will say in that same regard. There was a member of the Rascals who was basically booted. They were booted from WWE for the same sort of situation. I'm not saying it was with kids, but apparently he apparently beat his wife. Come to find out, it's not what happened, and he got fired.
Since he's had matches.
He got brought back. He got called back. He's back wrestling. He's been on WWE TV. He was prominently shown on WWE.
See, that one's different because they can get away with Zachary Wentz in that situation because he's a tag team guy. Velveteen Dream was a unique character in a sense.
How? It's the same type of shit. It is abuse. It's assault.
Compared to what, you know, if we're talking about like characters around that time of NXT Black and Gold, Velveteen was the best out of all of them.
He was a champion.
Yeah, he was the North American champion. You know, they pushed him to the fucking moon.
The only thing I would disagree with him is I'm talking about, listen, you guys will understand this one. The only problem I have with him, because I saw him in person wrestle and stuff like that, and when I saw him in person wrestle, I said to somebody, the only problem I have with this kid is he's too small. That was my problem with him.
But he didn't look it on TV.
Oh,
you know who else was called?
He was taller than most people.
Hold on. Do you
No,
know
no,
who
not
else?
smaller. I'm
Hold
talking about
on.
small.
Do you know who? Do you know who else was considered small but was bigger than life? The Macho Man, and that guy killed it.
But no. Here's the thing with Macho Man now. Hey, you'll understand this when I say it though. Macho Man, I think his build weight was 242 pounds or something like that. Velveteen's dream build weight, I think it was 197 pounds. If he was 197 pounds, I'm 280.
He looked pretty big.
I'm just saying to you.
Exactly, Trips. Exactly.
I'm just saying is Velveteen Dream to be going on this skit right now. You want to blame the IWC? I have no problem with it. You want to say, hey, people let me go before they had the facts. You got to understand that's the business. Now, if you're going to try and wrap the IWC into the business because you think the business has done you wrong, that's a different discussion, Velveteen. You don't hold it against the employer because at the end of the day, the employer does what's best for the employer. They never do what's best for the employee. That's a whole different discussion.
So allowing Zachary Wentz to come back, allowing all these other people to come back, rehiring Alberto Del Rio, that's okay.
Allegedly. But honestly, here's the thing.
Hold on,
At
Gerard
least
froze.
Alberto Del Rio is a former world champion.
No contract because
Hold on. Gerard, you're cutting in and out. Go ahead. Say that again.
I said, are they doing that for the simple fact to transfer from a AAA contract to a TKO contract?
We don't know that.
Why should he have
That's
a
what I'm saying.
Why should he have a TKO contract?
Because if you buy a company, you want to transfer everything. Like, think about it. When WCW got bought, a lot of those contracts were done by AOL. So those guys couldn't go to WWE because the contracts are held by AOL. Maybe WWE learned to it. Oh, no. So if we buy a company, we have to put those contracts in our name, and that's it. Because it could be an ironclad contract to Del Rio's owed money, whether you let him wrestle or not.
So you're telling me that it's not worth paying him out?
If they sign Del Rio in 2025,
so you're telling me, okay, hold on.
Then we know Vince is still behind the scenes.
Hold on. You're telling me with that logic, a guy who's been confirmed has done everything he's done per page, for everything else, that guy right there is deserving of any sort that's not worth paying his contract out and saying, go fuck yourself.
Depends on what the contract is for. And that's all I'm saying is we don't know that part of it. And I'll tell you this right now, if they took that and put it into a TKO contract just because of that reason, to where, hey, 90 days on the road, we can turn around and say, we're giving you your 90-day thing because now we control you, so be it.
He's not, look, that guy's not worth the paper that bitch is printed on. But you have a guy like Patrick Clark who literally was able to prove his innocence, who's been out. Really?
Hey,
turn that off. Turn it off.
Is AAA, my question is, was Alberto Del Rio the highest paid guy in AAA?
It doesn't matter. He doesn't deserve a cent.
He probably is.
Yeah, and I'm just saying is the fact of when they transfer the old contracts, now they could say, we got a guy in the contract. We can't do nothing. And you know what, Dan? We'll find this out June 7th. We'll find that out.
We absolutely will. But I want the same scrutiny on this motherfucker that they've given to Patrick Clark, who's been out for 4 or 5 years.
Ask you this. Does that in any way, because I'll tell you this right now, if they've been in discussion with Paige could look at them and say, he comes around at all, I'm out.
Well, they shouldn't have any discussion with Paige. Paige can.
No. What I'm saying, what I mean by that, Jacob, is she can say, hey, if this AAA is just going to be working with NXT and not the main roster, if you bring him up at all, whatever, because now she can actually say, if he's around at all, I'm not going to be anywhere. And as my employer, that's a harassment case and a half waiting to happen. She doesn't want to be around that guy. She has every right to refuse that, and they can't even say nothing to him.
Paige sucks and Alberto sucks, so I think this is a non-issue in both situations because Jinder. Hey, Jacob, I'm not saying that part of what they do like that. I'm saying to you is
You don't want to get a harassment case because they're in the same place at the same time, and one of them does not want anything to do with the other one. It's like ex-wife and husband that technically you don't want to be around because it's going to create a toxic atmosphere. If Alberto Del Rio, first of all, if he comes to the main roster, he should be given worse than Hogan treatment. He should be given worse than Hogan.
I would be shocked, but also wouldn't be if Alberto comes back. It'd be probably the funniest return in years. But I can guarantee this. If Alberto comes back at that Worlds Collide show, he's definitely going to get a pop. Just saying. The live audience is going to pop for him.
Well, it's in L.A. That's why.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, what I'm saying, no, what I mean is, if he's on the when Worlds Collide show, it's one thing. If he flips over to the main show, that's the problem.
I would sincerely hope that they don't do that because again,
that's all I'm saying. Just keep it with the AAA NXT stuff. I have no problem with that. But if you put him back on the main show, I have a big problem with that because, first of all, he's burnt so many bridges. That's when you can say. That's when a guy like Patrick Clark can look and say, "Wait a minute, hold on, time out. Wait a minute, hold on."
And again, like they bought all of AAA, and again, Alberto is probably not the only guy that WWE doesn't want from the AAA roster. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm hoping that like with this whole structuring, this whole structuring of deals is just like they're doing a whole restructuring of deals, and the people who need to stay in Mexico, and then they bring some. Hey, listen, hold on. I'm not saying that it sounds bad. It sounds bad the way I just said that.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Hey, he does live in Phoenix, Arizona. So,
well, listen. The only reason why, like, the only people they're going to bring over is the new La Parca, the new Vikingo is going to come over. Like, they're going to do a lot of crossover shit with this AAA partnership. But if they bring Alberto in, then God help them, because it'd be fucking hilarious. I'm gonna think it's hilarious because of because God damn it. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I could also see them doing it. That's probably like.
But I'll put you. I think it's beyond the point to where Triple H can't be like. Triple H has got to be thinking, I can't have my father-in-law freaking involved in the same shit that Alberto Del Rio has been accused of doing, but I put Alberto Del Rio on the damn TV, and my father-in-law has been expunged from the whole freaking business.
Then you fire up, okay, then you cut him a nice little check and you send him on his way.
What I'm saying is, though, what if he has a thing to it, even if you let him go like that? If you let him go, the payment's higher.
Okay. It's not like they don't have the money.
Having it and wanting
okay.
to
Okay. No, here's the deal. Fine. Let's take your narrative. Let's go that way. So you're telling me that they're not going to take a hit by having – I think it costs more to have this guy still wrestling for your company than it costs to just pay him off and send him on his way.
We could never see Alberto Del Rio again. They could just let him sit at home and play out his contract. I'm just saying to you is, if that's the case, it could be cheaper to do it that way than to put him on TV at all. All I'm saying is
that might just be what they're going to do, honestly.
And that's fine, but you have this guy, and this is going to be remembered that you had this guy under contract.
Well,
you didn't have this guy. You bought the company that had the guy under contract.
And he's
he's the world champion. He's the world champion.
He's the mega champion. He's not the champion.
Mega champion, sorry.
Hold on.
He's the secondary. He's the intercontinental champion.
You have this guy under a don't tell me they don't have him under contract. He's under a TKO contract. What, are you worried about the fucking Wendigo coming after you or something? You keep looking behind.
I got turkeys. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, where are you? What the hell?
He's in hiding. He's in hiding.
I'm sitting on my back deck, and
you're worried about. That's I'm saying. You're talking about this. He's under a TKO contract.
Well, he's on
what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is over.
Gerard's on an elevated deck and he's worried about predators and shit.
Oh, listen, these are turkey vultures. These are turkey vultures. So it's like, wait a minute, what the hell are they?
Well, you are
They
a
will.
big turkey.
I just want to say
around here.
again, we're literally sitting here and we're talking about Alberto Del Rio in 2025. Literally, like that's kind of how sad this is, really.
Well,
Like-
think about it. Alberto Del Rio, and Velveteen Dream, and we're not talking about what happened last night.
And we're not even talking about what happened today. One of the greatest hardcore.
We did. You were late.
You were late to
We
the
talked
party,
about
Jake.
that.
Yeah, I was late, but I can talk about it now. Honestly, rest in peace, Sabu. Honestly, like if we're gonna get somber for a little bit. I think
We were already somber.
I know, but we're gonna bring it back down. I think that honestly, I think Sabu was okay until he did that interview with Dan, and then everything went downhill from there. And I'm just kidding.
So
No, I'm just kidding. Now, rest in peace, Sabu. Honestly, it sucks. My dad's very upset about it. He's very heartbroken. He called me crying today.
well,
Very sad day for
the one thing Jacob. The one thing we said to each other is, so we can go back a little bit. Is there an ECW without Sabu?
Absolutely
And of course
not.
he ducks out. But when he comes back, we can ask him again.
He said absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Sorry, I was joking.
Okay. Listen,
I got this beer salt. It's like pickle flavored beer
No.
salt, but I don't like beef.
You need to take that big bird microphone.
Yeah. No, it sucks, man. There wouldn't be an ECW without Sabu. A guy who, again, there's nothing I can say that probably hasn't already been said by you guys. Again, I can't complain. I'm sorry.
And to go back to this a little bit, Dan, in the next couple of days,
I'm honestly so glad Dan got to talk to him because that's fucking awesome, man.
in the next couple of days, we're going to hear a lot of the guys who worked with him at ECW. We're going to hear the Tommy Dreamers. We're going to hear about Bubba Ray, and we're going to hear all the stories and stuff like that. We'll probably hear Paul Heyman come out and give some kind of thing too. But the one thing that these guys can all say about the wrestling, about the personal part of it, where was Sabu at the end? That's what I'd want to know.
Well, and that's the thing. So when we talk,
at 16 years old,
like I said, it had been a couple years. Like, what was it, 2 years, 3 years, 3 years when last time when I talked to him, he was in pain. He needed some this, that. He was doing the podcast, or he was doing podcasts because he needed the money. And it's a shame. It was right after I had talked to him, he was going on AEW. And it was. So I hope that Tony Khan took care of him a little bit there. But
his honestly,
I think he's happier because he gets to be with Super Genie now. Because God rest her soul, Melissa Coates, I told him, she probably revitalized his career, gave him another fucking 2 years because to watch those two together, and then she passed away from COVID as well. It's just he was going through it, I think. So I think
he definitely was, but again, his last match ever is going to be against Joey Janela. Not gonna shit on Joey Janela, but his last match, man, it was only like a few weeks ago, and he gave it his all at the end. Like he fucking dove head first into a barbed wire plate, And honestly, the weirdest thing about this is Tuesday they're airing a Dark Side of the Ring on his uncle, the original Sheik, and he's going to be heavily featured in that episode. So
what's funny weird is the movie The Wrestler. I would say Sabu would probably be the closest thing to the movie The Wrestler that there was. Randy the Ram. I mean, because I honestly believe Sabu was meant to die in a ring.
I mean, he basically almost did. I mean, if you watch that match with Joey Janela, man, he fucking landed face first onto the concrete shit.
What was I forget who he was wrestling, but he put his jaw ended up going through a table because the leg was the wrong way and his jaw went through a table. And that's like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
like I say, the stuff that man would do for his body to entertain people, and his paychecks probably never supported what he put his body through.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I talked, talking to other people, not trying to name drop or shit like that, but he should have made millions for the way he innovated shit. Like, I mean, what he could do with a chair, what he could do with a table. And like I told Gerard, that wasn't a 20 by 20 box with ropes. It was a literal canvas. He was Picasso. And it's a shame. It's a literal shame that he will never, I mean, don't get me wrong, he'll live on through like people like Javon Evans and all the guys you see nowadays who are doing these incredible moves and just it's become second nature. I'm
glad you bring that name up, by the way.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Honestly, the saddest thing ever though is that like he's never gonna get his Hall of Fame induction.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
No, but like he's never gonna be there and for his Hall of Fame induction.
No. What I mean by that is Javon Evans' comments this week. Him going.
Oh my God!
Hold on, Jacob. Hold on, Gerard. Do you have those comments?
Oh my God!
Yeah, can we pull him up? Can we pull him up on the screen somehow? Because, dude,
Javon Evans,
dude. Okay, listen.
What did he say that was wrong?
Honestly, as much shit that I've given Ricochet, I talk a lot of shit about Ricochet. Again, I don't know what happened since he came to AEW. I'm not the persona he's trying to fucking put on, but I'm a big Ricochet fan. But I think
yes, you are. Of course, you are.
I think Javon. No, I'm a big Prince Puma fan. I'm gonna preface that, but I think Javon Evans worked himself.
Well, I'm a big Matanza Cuerto fan, and that's also what he did.
Who's that? Who's Jeff Cobb? What? Who's Jeff Cobb? What's Jeff Cobb?
Circle the Islands, you might find out.
Exactly. No, but listen, I think Javon Evans worked himself into a shoot here, and I'll tell you why.
So this is the quote from Javon Evans. Now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead. Talk about an upgrade. Am I right? The young OG.
First of all, murdered Ricochet with that one quote. And like again, Ricochet was commenting on something that had nothing to do with Ricochet. Like someone was commenting like how like good that they thought Javon Evans was.
My bad. I just got done training at the Performance Center under Shawn Michaels, something that you don't have or do.
Like, yeah, so I think Ricochet was like trying to like be cheeky, but he doesn't know how to do that. So then Javon Evans tried. So then Javon Evans just went and clipped him.
Of course, the tweets were taken down right after.
I think him calling Tony a crackhead kind of was what did it.
What are you talking about? I don't know. We got squares that go going off to AEW. Brother, I was learning from Shawn Michaels when you was like 12. Then went on to become multi-time champion. Let me know when you
that was the quote.
That was the one that said Javon. That was the one that said Javon off.
Yeah, that was the one where you said, you left here to go work for some crackhead in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah, he's like, you worked under Shawn Michaels and you won multiple titles, and then you worked for some crackhead.
and then if I'm right, but then Ricochet goes, "Oh, how many people does the Performance Center hold?"
Which he's not wrong. He's got him there.
Okay, but listen. Okay, let's just. Javon Evans is 20. Can we just put that out there? Javon Evans is 20. I'm not just saying but Ricochet is 36 years old and Javon Evans is 20 years old.
Jesus, you sound like that's ancient. Calm down, Jacob. You fucking
no, but listen. No, I'm not saying he's picking on some youngin, but it's like, come on, dude. It's like, come on, you're a 36-year-old man who's doing all this bullshit.
Jacob,
like, come on, man.
Javon Evans will end up in the business better than Ricochet.
Exactly. So for Ricochet to be out there like, I'm out, the PC holds this much. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, you started this. You started this shit.
To quote a very wise man.
You can see there's some bitterness with Ricochet when it comes to his former employer. You can see that. And the bitterness is this.
Oh, no, there's a little bit of bitterness. Like, he tweets about it all the fucking time. It's horrible.
He had the chance to stay. He went to go with his friends. just for the money. And you know what? He's what the? He's been busted down to
Gobble gobble, motherfucker.
Oh, you can hear, right?
Yes. To be okay. So Gerard, I'll put it like this.
Gerard's
right?
on an elevated deck too.
Gerard, what is the quote? You don't bring spitballs against a man with a machine gun.
Well, I'll put it like this. With what we just saw with releases, you don't know who could be released.
Absolutely, and God forbid, because now why does you have to butcher everybody's name? It's Next, it's Cena, it's Javon, it's Javon.
Javon Evans just burned a bridge doing that, but
that's what I was getting at. He just
you know what?
Look,
he changed any chance he had.
Hey, he could always change his narrative.
He can control his narrative. Come on. Get it right.
What's going on, Sloppy?
Sloppy.
Hey, listen, if there's a paycheck at the end of the road, everybody changes.
You know who really burnt their fucking bridge? Braun Strowman. All this shit he was talking about Tony Khan. Where's he going to go? Again, because now WWE thinks 34 is geriatric.
Well, here's my question for you.
Well, Jeff Cobb is 42.
Jeff Cobb is a fucking freak.
Exactly.
Who do you think would be better, Braun Strowman or Wardlow?
Wardlow.
They couldn't do nothing with Wardlow. You think they're going to do something with Braun Strowman?
Wardlow can run. Braun Strowman can't run.
Unless they're going to create the new and improved Twin Towers.
Let the 80s die, Gerard. Let them go.
Gerard wants to bring
Spivey's not coming back.
Okay? There's skyscrapers. Wasn't it the skyscrapers?
Twin Towers, skyscrapers.
I told you what's going to happen. If he goes back to AEW, he's going to go up to Jon Moxley while Jon Moxley has a crucifix, jack it off his shirt and go, I challenge you, Jon Moxley to a WrestleMania. Hold out. I challenge you.
Dude,
he's gonna get a French.
Dan Spivey coming back from and challenging Jon Moxley.
2-0 to the when they went down 2-0, they played it.
We can't hear you, Gerard.
Walking through the door. Kevin McHale ain't walking through the door. Okay. And when you look at WWE and you look at AEW and stuff like that, listen, sorry to say, guys, Hulk Hogan ain't walking through that door. Macho Man ain't walking through that door.
Yeah, because his dumbass can't remember shit. Benjamin Shelton is not going to wrestle him tomorrow.
No,
remember,
Hulk Hogan's too busy with
wrestled Brock.
Freestyle.
Hold on. He wrestled Brock when Brock came back from the UFC.
What I mean
Hulk
is
Hogan's too busy with real American freestyle.
No, what I mean by that is,
come on,
the superstar of the next generation is not walking through tomorrow for either company.
Yeah, it is. It already has. Now hold on, it already has. Did you not fucking hear me earlier? Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu.
I said we're gonna get there. Okay, I'm just saying
Rob Conway,
the superstars of today, right? to get to that company, bring it up. I'm saying is they don't have the talent today they did growing up to where you could, hey, we're going to hang our basket on this guy and he's going to fly. You have to actually make that talent today to where before the talent could actually bring the crowd along. Steve Austin. Let's start with Steve Austin. Huh?
Jacob Fatu, not I mean. He's really? You're going to tell me he's got the talent? He's got the athleticism?
Hey, listen, Steve
I
Austin.
slept on a mattress in an abandoned house?
Hey, I'm saying is Steve Austin as a ringmaster had no chance in hell of becoming Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, listen, Jinder Mahal under 3MB had no chance of being a WWE champion under 3MB. But as the modern day Maharaja, he really, man.
You got to make me jump off the deck, Jacob.
Well, here's the thing, man. This is what Gerard is talking about. There's not that next level guy. It's because Jinder Mahal is not here. Because I really think, if they brought him back, it would, they're missing an opportunity. I think the closest that they got right now is Dominic Mysterio, but even then, I don't know, man.
Can we talk about that? You know what? Let's get into Backlash. Fuck it. We're going to move into Backlash. First off.
Oh, yeah, there was a pay-per-view that happened 2 days ago.
Do you have the setting for what the matches, dear?
But
Well,
You have the listing
first
of the
match-
matches.
the first
I
match
got
was
the
a
list of the
fatal
matches.
Hold on. Okay.
First match was a fatal
First
four-way.
match. First match was a fatal 4-way. You had Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and the fucking showstopper, Jacob motherfucking Fatu.
Okay, so we watched this. And the most glaring thing I saw in that match last night.
Oh God, the refereeing. You're gonna say the refereeing again?
Nope. The part where Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre were taking away from the action in the ring between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. They should have found a way to have those 4 guys all in that spot.
Are you done? You know why? You know why they did that? Because their rivalry is so heated that the title no longer meant anything. They are adding emphasis on the fact that these guys hate each other, that for that moment they forgot about the title. Fuck you,
No,
fuck
I'm just
you.
saying is they should have found a way to get Jacob and LA Knight somewhere over there so the camera's showing all 4 at the same time. And I'm like, what are these 2 guys doing in the ring? And you got these other 2 guys over in the crowd going through tables.
Well, I mean, Drew McIntyre really just needs to go away. I mean, like, I'm just kind of in that boat. Like, I'm glad because this gives him an opportunity to go away because I think his face got smashed in or something. So, like, he's probably
Jacob,
injured
if he
now.
goes away, 3MB's gone.
Okay, but no. There's Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. They don't need Drew McIntyre, all right? He wasn't the star of 3MB, okay? All right. You can have Kiss without Peter Criss, all right? It just needs Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, all right? You can have Kiss without that shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the greatest faction of all time aside, like Drew McIntyre really, like, he needs to just disappear. Damian Priest, I don't know where he's going to go from this. He's going to go south from, the south of heaven. He needs to go south from heaven. He needs to go down to hell and just, go away. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, I mean, this is Jacob Fatu was the most over guy in this match by a fucking mile. Like, it was kind of sad at one point, like how much they were chanting. Like, there was at one point where, like, for 5 minutes straight, they were saying Fatu, Fatu, Fatu. Like, dude,
And you having a problem with that?
No, I don't have a problem with that at all. But then the best thing about this is we got a debut from one of my favorite indie wrestlers of all time, one of my favorite characters from Lucha Underground, Matanza Cueto, a.k.a. Jeff Cobb.
You do know Jacob Fatu, WrestleMania 26 in New Orleans, will be in the main event of one of those nights.
Yeah, I hope so.
You do know that, right?
We have a great, bringing in Jeff Cobb like in this manner was fucking great because I knew
that was 2 guys that I definitely want to see go at it because you know that what's going to happen is Solo's going to turn on Jacob, and Jeff is going to be his enforcer. Okay. Now that being said,
I would have Jeff and Jacob as a tag team, but like then who the fuck would stop them at that point?
Look at what Jacob. Look at how Jacob looked last night. When he saw Cobb, look at how he looked.
The surprise.
He gave that look like, what the frick are you doing here? Okay. I didn't need you guys to help me do this. That's the look he gave.
Yeah.
I think Jacob is getting to that point to where the crowd is turning for Jacob Fatu.
We've talked about that. That's ongoing. But here's the thing, talking about the future. What I want to see, and this is maybe just fantasy booking, of course it is, Jacob Fatu, Jeff Cobb, Bronson Reed. That's a lot of beef.
Here's my thing, though.
Meat Mania.
Which, and I'm going to tell you this. Jacob Fatu right now with the crowd better go over.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is. He was over last night.
No, he better go over in the match you just said. He better go over.
He is, but see, okay, so look, ultimately, if I'm fantasy booking, right, I see that. What I see ultimately is you have Bronson Reed coming back. Bronson Reed did work with the Bloodline before, working with Solo. He comes back. You could see he's a big man who does not like other big men. You set up you set up Bronson Reed versus fucking Jeff Cobb. Now, that's a match for WrestleMania.
Dude, I'm just glad that Jeff Cobb's it. Like, I saw all these people talking shit about Jeff Cobb. Like, who the fuck is that? What? What? Who's this guy? It's like, dude, when they showed his face, he got a fucking pop in the arena, so the fucking crowd knows who he was. was. So I'm
So
just
you're
saying,
telling me-
I miss Matanza. I wish Matanza would come back in some shape or form.
So Jacob, you're talking about the IWC
The what?
knew who Jeff Cobb was.
No, the people in the crowd knew who he was. He got a pop.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, as soon as I saw him, I didn't know who the hell he was.
Well, see, but
Because you're old.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I beg your pardon.
here's the thing, though. Like, the
Again, hold on. Time out. The reason why fucking Gerard doesn't know who he was too worried about what Jessica Carr was doing with the turnbuckle.
I mean,
that
I
was
love
brutal.
again, shout out to Jessica Carr.
Let me put you like this, okay?
We'll get there. Hold on, Gerard. We'll get to that match.
Shout out
We're
to
going to
Jessica
talk about
Carr,
the hypocrisy. Will talk about the hypocrisy that went on throughout the night when it came to referees.
Oh,
We will
Jesus.
talk about it.
I was waiting for it.
Will, you had one worried about the freaking turnbuckle.
The main event was ridiculous.
Right.
That being said, dear, did y'all felt like the right guy went over?
Yes.
First match.
Yes.
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 Okay. What was the second match?
No, Drew McIntyre should have won.
He's bored at work, bro.
Look at Gerard. If there's a way to zoom in on Gerard's face.
He's so upset. Look at him. So what was the second match?
I think
Women's Intercontinental.
It was the Women's Intercontinental channel with the man, Becky Lynch, taking on Lyra Valkyria.
I think she is 5.
What? Say that again?
Becky Lynch is 5 years past her prime.
How dare you attack a woman, you ageist piece of shit?
And sexist.
Hey, I know, on Mother's Day, right?
I'm mother.
Speaking of that, happy
and
Mother's Day to all you moms out there. I can't believe we went this long without saying
What did you get your wife for Mother's Day?
I took her out to dinner.
You know what I did?
Slept.
Some of it, but yeah.
You can hear Trips laughing in the background. Trips immediately cracked.
Well, wait, hold on. In all fairness, just leaving her alone today was probably more than
Probably,
enough
yes.
because you're too sick to do anything. So,
Yeah.
So you had Becky Lynch come out, and I thought this was a fucking fuck up. To be honest with you, I looked away and turned back, and the match was over. They had multiple fucking kickouts of finishers. The fucking manhandle slam that she hit a couple times looked like trash. The knee counter to the fucking top rope move it was a botch fest in my opinion. I'm just observing.
For as much history as these two women claim to have, they really should have had a better match. Like, the whole story going into this is like, oh, you're not going to be my mentor, Becky. Oh, this, and that. I'm the bird girl, and this, and like all this bullshit like that was going into the feud. And like again, like for
Did you just say I'm the bird girl?
Yeah, I'm the bird girl. Yeah, that's Lyra. She's the bird girl. Anyway, but yeah, I want to Lyra her Valkyria. No, but anyways, this is probably like the worst job Lyra's ever had. I don't know what was going on.
When did she wrestle? When did she wrestle?
Hold on. Hey, Jacob, we have found Frankie.
Wow. That joke didn't hit for shit.
Well, no, she just like I don't know, like I get where she was, the green makeup, like look, she just looked like Princess Fiona out there, like from Shrek. It just kind of looked a little bit like that. Makeup wise, but that's okay because then I saw her face and I'm a believer. Again,
then you saw her face.
Shrek.
That's what he was getting at. That's what he was getting at.
Yeah, Shrek humor aside, this match was really boring for as much as chemistry as these two claim to have. Like, again, I was expecting more, at least something else. But did you it was just awkward. It was just really awkward. That's the best way I could describe this match,
Absolutely.
All right, next match.
Hold on. So the match goes over. Becky keeps attacking her. Clearly, they're going to continue the feud. Do you think the right woman went over?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
I would say I could care less because when Lyra starts actually wrestling, say what you want about Chelsea Green, say what you want about fucking.
Hey, don't say anything about Chelsea Green. What do you mean?
I wasn't going to say anything about it. I'm saying Chelsea Green wrestles. Chelsea Green was on TV every week.
Lyra
doing
wrestles. Come on, man.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Woo. Dun, dun, dun. Woo. Dun, dun,
Next
dun.
match.
Dominic versus Penta.
It was Dominic versus Penta El Ceremil.
I gotta say,
And in the words of X, his country walk.
Can we get?
he's a smooth operator. No, so Dom being over still is at least he got a good pop when he came out. This match.
Does it surprise you? I mean, and I want Gerard to come back for this. Hopefully he can hear us. Does it surprise
I can hear you.
Does it surprise you that Dominic Mysterio is so over right now?
No, I think him winning at WrestleMania
Yeah, we can hear you.
really solidified it. Him winning at WrestleMania really solidified it. I thought it was just going to be an at WrestleMania thing. I didn't expect it to carry over.
So let me ask you this: Can you look up that video you sent me about Dominic and Eddie? I want to show you something, and it gets to my feels because it really encapsulates for me where Dominic is at right now. And when you watch it, you being you and you liking Eddie as much as you do, your father liking Eddie, all those other things. Again, we've talked about how much Eddie has meant to the Latino fan base.
Well, and especially because of where he's at now, especially going into this match against Penta, because Penta was over too, and they didn't turn on Penta. It was kind of even with the crowd reaction for this match. You could tell towards the end they wanted Dom to win, but again, they're going into a situation where they're going to have Finn turn on Dom, and they're going to make Dom a bigger babyface in this situation. So I don't know. It sucks because Finn sucks right now. I don't want to see Finn as a fucking heel against a Dom because I really just want to see Finn. Finn honestly should go to AEW at this point. I would love to see that. I think that's where he belongs at this point. But, yeah, I don't know. Dom being over is great. I think Penta being over as much as he has still is great.
Hold on.
Everything's great.
Is it great?
Is it great? That's great and that's grand.
Yeah, I have to find it again. Bear with me.
Okay. But again, I like to say, rest in peace of Sabu again. I feel like he was doing okay, but then once he got interviewed by House of Rebellion, I think he really.
Wow, such an ass. Get it?
No, I'm kidding.
Did you email it?
I emailed it to you. When you see this, you'll understand what I mean. It hits every way.
Did Gerard leave? Where did he go? Did he go?
I have no idea. He's a sore professional. Check
title
Gerard's
card.
back.
A title card pops up, and Gerard went back to his home planet.
Wow.
Like that Simpsons episode.
Hold on. Is he still not back?
What?
Is he still not back?
I don't know. We left. I was busy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's decided that he's had enough of our old or young people's shit.
There you go.
There he is.
All right, so I want y'all to see this video, and it encapsulates everything I feel about right now, currently with everything that he's doing right now. Hold on, jeez, technical difficulties.
Sorry, it got cold outside. Even in front of the heater, my legs are cold.
It's called old age.
No, it went from 70 degrees to 55.
Because you're wearing the shorts in 50-degree weather.
It's fucking 100 degrees here, so
I'll send you my weather. You send me yours.
My weather's lovely right now.
It's like I was talking to Chimmel today, and it was 85 and with a chance of rain. They haven't had rain in 3 months. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you all the rain you need.
Jeez, here we go. I can't hear it.
That's great.
Operator.
It's not playing. The audio is not playing.
I'm giving the audio.
The audio is not playing.
I'm giving the audio. a smooth operator. Well, either way, again, I want to question Rey Mysterio's Dominic Mysterio's mother on who exactly is the father.
Well,
I remember-
the thing they did an interview with Chavo, and they were like, Chavo, he says, Chavo's a bitter fuck.
Chavo sued over concussions. So I don't want to fucking hear about what
Chavo is bitching because he's not getting the recognition off his uncle like Ray does and everybody else.
Well, because you suck.
Chavo didn't get the push.
Well, yeah, because you were Kerwin White. That's all you were ever seen as. What do you mean? And again, I'm not this big Chavo hater. Again, I saw fucking Chavo. He wrestled in TNA like a month back or so. And he looked good. He looked better than fucking half the TNA roster. But for Chavo to go out there come on, man.
Nothing. I can't hear it.
I can hear it.
I can't hear it.
What's happening?
It's okay. Anyways, Dominic Mysterio is the man. I think he's only going to get better from here.
He what?
He's only going to get better from here.
Dasher Pie, hello.
All right, we'll try this again.
Dasher Pie.
Is this your first time here, Dasher Pie?
Hold on.
I got kicked in the Dasher Pies.
Well, is Dasher Pie a man or a woman? Because Jacob, you've always been said you like the Dasher Pie.
Jesus, we all seriously.
What?
This is wow. Y'all are special.
I can't imagine why I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Trips.
I found it.
It's okay, Jacob.
All right, so again,
As you can see,
I think we talked about the Dominic Mysterio match as much as we could have.
Okay, there we go. I got it. Whenever y'all are ready.
All right, I'm ready.
Ooh, share screen.
we're waiting on you.
That's ready. It should be.
How am I going to share it when it's on your computer?
Well, I'm saying you should have a tab to share on that end, over there by them. But if you click down past Gerard, go down, there.
Don't yell at Trips, Dan.
I'm not. Shut the
No,
fuck
no,
up.
no.
Are y'all ready? Here we go.
He said it himself. I am going to be the one to carry on the Guerrero legacy.
And he's gonna be the one that carries out the Guerrero legacy for Dominic Guerrero, who is going to be the best Guerrero of us all.
I'm this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was his generation. Dominic Mysterio.
Oh. Who records you?
Yeah, that.
Then you'll be on the horse of the Hall of Fame. Sorry, that song.
Well,
Um,
here's my thing with that match, though. Let's get to the ending.
Okay.
Where, once again, the
that
judges...
just got me emotional. Can we talk about that? That just got me emotional. I want to grow a mullet now.
And the other thing is, too, is how they kept repeatedly showing how 5 minutes after WrestleMania, he's saying he's the greatest champion of all time. 20 minutes after WrestleMania, he's the greatest champion of all time. 30 minutes after WrestleMania, hello, you got a guy who was on the card last night who actually is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
If you say the fucking honky tonk man, I will fight you.
I said a guy on the card last night.
Who?
The match after Dom.
Wait, hold on. Did we talk about the finish to that match and how the greatest luchador of all time interceded?
And like,
Right.
From the
God,
Gulf
please.
of America El Grande
We're talking
Americano?
about something like, like again, if we want to shout out Trips, once again, like shout out to Trips. She's the producer of this channel. Again, like if Trips made a documentary on the history of El Grande Americano, man, like
Oh my, you should. That should be
Dude.
coming out. The history, everything this man has suffered, everything he's been through, the Mysterio family blackballing him.
I will put it like
again,
this.
I can't hate anytime this man is on screen. Like it's just like a sense of
Wade
pride.
Barrett
The
last
sense
night.
of pride from my heritage just beams out when every time he comes on screen.
Wade Barrett last night had me
Gracias.
cracking up because of Michael Cole's talking about Chad Gable, and Wade Barrett thought that ain't Chad Gable.
That's not Chad Gable.
He's like, that's not Chad Gable. What the hell are you talking about?
That's El Grande Americano.
Yeah, he was pissed. I agree with what
I
Wade
would be
Barrett-
pissed off too.
Yeah. God
I
damn
mean-
it. Well, you know what? It's going to be the greatest documentary this channel's ever seen. When the El Grande
Listen,
Americano.
it's like when we had a Mr. America. Okay,
Mr. America wishes he was as patriotic as El Grande Americano.
wait a minute, hold on. He was as patriotic, just like the Patriot was.
They
Okay,
were
but
imitators.
Mr. America just showed up. El Grande Americano has a
He's been around for
lineage.
years,
He's been around for decades.
decades.
You would
Decades,
think someone
Gerard.
like Gerard would know that.
Do you think someone like Gerard, who's wrestling when
Yeah.
Jesus was wrestling, would know about El Grande Americano?
It's pretty, for him to get on this stage at this point of his career.
And it took so
Listen.
for his physique, the way he
Yeah.
looks. I mean,
It's
And see that you're
fucking-
gonna bring that up to
God
me?
damn it. God damn it.
Hey,
dude.
seeing that you're gonna bring it up, I will say congratulations to Pope Leo too, if that's where you want to go.
wow.
No, it's not. No. Okay, listen. We're talking about Pope Bob. It's Pope Bob from Chicago. All right. Listen, we're not talking about that right now. But listen, El Grande Americano, man, like it's, as a Chicano white boy in America right now, it really, brings some tears to my eyes. And we don't really know where El Grande Americanos come from.
Well, I can
From
tell
the
you.
Gulf, from the Gulf of fucking America, dude. Like literally.
One of the greatest honors of my life was being able to sit here with my father and watch a match on the grandest stage of them all with El Grande Americano. It just to share that with my father, who is a proprietor who loved Lucha Libre, who talked about the El Santos, the Brudima Juniors, the Dr. Wagners, and now to add El Grande Americano to that list, and how pivotal he was in that match.
So you're telling me El Grande Americano has overtaken Mil Mascaris?
Absolutely.
Dude, I remember back in the when I was growing
Mil
up.
Mascaris,
my
Mil
dad-
Mascaris, the father of that piece of shit, Alberto Del Rio.
Dude,
That
no.
one?
Mil Mascaris is his uncle.
The uncle, that piece of shit.
Dos Caras is his
That's
father.
right. That's right.
Here's
That's
the thing.
right.
When
That's
I was
right.
when I was hearing about, first hearing about Lucha Libre from my father, he told me, there's a lot of, there's Blue Demon, you have, you have the Blue Demons, you have the Blue Panthers, you have all these great luchadors, and El Grande Americano, he really was up there. And I now seeing him on this national stage, man, it really just.
And again, for all the years he's been around, for him to keep, how do you keep, I'm really thinking that, Jacob. You look at some of these guys from the past, and they don't have the physiques of someone like El Grande America, who's ahead of the game, talking about healing.
Honestly, there's a few, there's there's guys even Blue Panther, he could still move around a little bit. LA Park, he's still up there a little bit, but the physique of El Grande Americano, dude, this is he really is the Kurt Angle of Mexico, and it really is sad that he's never gotten his flowers. They talk about him in a way.
Here's a
lineage.
question for you. I gotta ask: El Grande Americano versus the Blue Blazer.
Well,
what?
I don't know, man. You get the Blue Blazer in there.
They would have made an amazing tag team. The technical prowess of the Blue Blazer, plus the high. No one had an insecurity like the Blue Blazer. That insecurity was amazing.
Yep. All you have to do is just go out there, say your prayers, drink your
and
drink your
the
vitamins.
The Blue Blazer didn't say your prayers and drink your vitamins.
The Blue Blazer with his, his blue shooter, that like leg lock that no one else did. I mean,
he could hit a turnbuckle though.
You have to say your prayers and drink.
You are
your
a piece
milk.
of shit. You know that? You're a piece of shit. That's what.
No, the Blue Blazer talked about drinking your milk. I don't know if go back and watch
Blue
Blazer.
Bro,
yes, he did. No. Hold on.
I disagree with you, Drew. That was low. That was a low blow.
Wait, what happened?
He was talking about the Blue Blazer.
No.
Why? What happened to him?
That's exact thing.
You're
That's what I was trying to say.
beings.
Hey, all I said was the guy could hit a turnbuckle. He knew how to hit him.
Oh.
That one. That's going to get us canceled right there because that was shitty.
Yeah. What I'm saying is always
that one disgusts me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That one. Next match.
The alter egos of the alter egos of some people. Okay.
You can alter ego all you want. That was bad. I'm telling you right now, that was bad. That was horrible. I'm done. Whatever. Next match.
Okay, well, Dan's gone.
Next match.
Hey, listen, you know what? Anything Gerard, my favorite finisher of all time is Family Plan.
So the next match got a lot of controversy. And you know what? I will agree with one Gerard that the greatest Intercontinental title champion that we've had in years was in this match. Pat McAfee. What a guy, I mean. So.
He never held the title?
That you know of.
All right, can we just talk about like how great Pat looked for how shitty this match was?
Really?
That makes any sense?
Hold on.
Listen, in my mind, this is the only match that didn't have a shitty finish.
Yep.
Every other match was a shitty finish.
It sucked the whole way through.
It sucked.
Exactly.
The reason why this match didn't have a shitty finish?
Because it had a shitty everything else.
But at least the match itself made sense. The finish of all the other matches sucked.
Pat McAfee should have been left laying in a pool of his own blood.
Dude, the fact that, again, I was waiting. I texted in the group chat. I was waiting for Goldberg. I'm like, where's Goldberg?
Yeah, I thought that Goldberg was going to come. I thought Goldberg was going to come out with an oxygen mask, a walker, and his fucking
Pat
Geritol.
got a comeback. He had a comeback at one point, and then Gunther fucking shook his hand at the end of the match.
No, he didn't. He didn't even shake his hand. He was up.
Like what?
And I'm going to tell you guys. I don't need to see Michael Cole get involved in any.
I'm not even knocking Michael Cole. I'm knocking.
Listen, Michael Cole showed the most emotion out of anyone on the card all night.
Yes,
and that's sad because again, Michael Cole going again. I totally thought I'm like this has to be a vehicle for Goldberg because this doesn't make any sense otherwise because Pat McAfee got the shit beat out of him and then got basically choked out, and then got back up not even a minute later. Yeah,
so you're shitting. You can tell. You can look at Gunther.
You're shitting on Gunther by making it seem like Gunther's not even a fucking threat. Like he can barely beat Pat McAfee, and it's like, dude. I was waiting for Goldberg. I'm like, okay, something has to happen here. Like either something.
I don't know if you guys noticed.
That's what. Honestly, I was like, they could have put Jeff Cobb in that moment. Like, if they didn't do the bloodline thing, they could have Jeff Cobb come. I don't know. Like, do something. That was fucking terrible.
From Pat McAfee's midsection up, it looked like he took a suntan. Looked like he fell asleep in the sun.
And he wasn't, dude. The way he was out of shape, dude. It looked like me out there, bro.
Look, I made a comment in somebody else's stream last night talking about this, saying that Pat McAfee looked like a 12-year-old Pee-wee football player.
Dude, and again, the way they botched his oh my god, those kicks.
Did you talk about him jumping in the ring and slipping?
Yeah,
Huh?
no, oh yeah, that was bad.
When he
And then
missed the
Cole had to
rope,
cover it up. Well, he's tired. He's not used to this. It was horrible.
Then why are you out there? What?
You
What?
know
Okay.
what me is? I'm glad you bring that up with Cole, to where every time Gunther got an upper hand, what was Cole screaming? Just end it. Just end it. Just end it.
Everybody
Just
was
end it.
That's
He
what we're
Dude,
all
that was
screaming.
that was getting that was fucking just end it. Just end it. Just end it.
You know
What
who
are you
had
gonna
a,
prove?
you know the chick that got hit by Steve Austin at WrestleMania had a better bump than fucking Pat McAfee.
Dude, Vince McMahon taking a bump from fucking Stone Cold at fucking WrestleMania 38 was better than this.
This match did nothing for Gunther. What the fuck is Pat McAfee gonna do?
Again, Pat if this is like
And here's the thing.
I thought this was Pat's send off. I thought Pat was going away, and this is like Pat's gonna be murdered, and then Goldberg.
I like Pat McAfee as
I do too.
Stay the fuck behind the desk and leave the wrestling for the wrestlers. He should.
Yeah.
This is how that match should have gone, in my opinion. Again, a fucking mark, right? I'm a fucking dork who watches the fucking wrestling. Gunther should have come out, chopped the shit out of him, slapped him around, picked him up, slapped him around again. Michael Cole should have tried to interfere, slapped Cole around again, smashed Gunther, or smash fucking McAfee, smash fucking Cole, have Goldberg come out, set up their match, and then fucking have Corey Graves come out and do commentary the rest of the night. With
See, here's the thing. Like, this match went fucking 25 minutes.
Take out Michael Cole. Have Wade Barrett do it.
See,
So
here's the
I
thing.
mentioned that. I said if Wade Barrett got up, I would have fucking lost it. I would have been okay with it.
I was waiting for that too, because I'm like, why? I was kind of like, at one point, I'm just like, okay, now Wade needs to get up.
So this is how bad that match was. Not only did it do bad stuff for Gunther, it fucking hurt Wade Barrett, because you have Wade Barrett up there who's a legit wrestler, who you've built up to be a boxing champion, who's sitting there watching his colleague, who's been built up to be the sawed-off piece of bad motherfucker, who sat his ass down like a bitch.
Yeah,
He's
and
done
Michael Cole,
so much damage.
Dude, again, if Wade Barrett, again, despite how shitty this match was, if Wade Barrett would have stood up at one point, don't even have him get involved. If he would have just stood up and like, hey, like, you motherfucker, just gotten
I've got some bad news.
And
it would have been fucking great.
No.
Dude, and again, Wade Barrett, again, this would have worked if you would have had fucking, like, if Gunther was going after Wade Barrett, or if Gunther was going after Corey Graves. Like, even Corey Graves, I feel like in this situation would have been better, because Corey Graves used to be
so what it would have done.
Let me tell you one thing. What you just said. If Wade Barrett gets up and says, "I got some bad news," and then you hear
the crowd would have got ape shit.
I got some bad news. You hear Goldberg music hit.
Oh yeah,
that would have been it.
But fuck Goldberg, man. I'm sorry. Fuck Goldberg. I don't give a
Well,
fuck about
exactly.
Goldberg.
Like, Goldberg isn't even fucking irrelevant.
This is my thing.
All
The
they
match
would have had Wade Barrett stand up.
The match I would have loved to see, and I want to see, would have been two old school European tough sons of bitches beating the piss out of each other.
Gunther and Sheamus.
I don't need to see that match again. I need to see Wade Barrett. I need Wade Barrett to finally get the flowers he deserves.
I'm almost positive Wade Barrett can still go, and it's just like, if they would have just, again, don't just had him stand up and stand in Gunther's face, it would have been the biggest pop of the whole night. Like, it makes no sense having Michael Cole be the one, because Wade Barrett is a former wrestler. It makes no fucking sense. Like,
the way you can sell it is the European aristocrat in fucking Gunther against the European brawler. I mean, you have a guy like Wade Barrett. You could run a narrative that the guy had nothing. He came from nothing, and Gunther goes on to say, "You think you're better than these Americans? I'm still better than you. I have the finest things. You were slopping in fucking pubs and fighting for change."
And again, I love Pat McAfee, but like, the way this match should have not even been 5 minutes.
No,
this match should not even have been.
And then at the end, unless you're turning Gunther face, you're making him baby. I don't see how this did anything for anybody.
Like, dude, like, I felt this way when they had the match with fucking Randy Orton and Bash in Berlin, and they did the whole fucking, like, like, handshake thing. I'm just like, okay, well, is fucking Gunther going to be a babyface now? It's like, Gunther, it's like when he was bathing in Jimmy Uso's blood and shit during WrestleMania. Like,
they have done so much to basically, like, look, and I'm going to say it plainly. they have done, and I hate it for him, but they've done so much damn near call this man other than calling him a Nazi. They're trying to make him a heel, and then they flip it. I don't know what, there's no direction. The only other person for me that has little direction as much as him would be fucking Karrion Kross.
Well, let me ask you this. If it wasn't for, if Gunther is a 1990s, early 1990s, late 80s, early 1990s guy, is he coming out in Adolf Hitler gear?
Fuck, I don't know. He damn near does with the giant coat and the dude.
No, but I'm saying is
I mean, he did when he first showed up. He was wearing all red, so I mean, he kind of
because my thing is this: if he would come out in that kind of garb,
if we're talking about WCW, they actually did that with a character called the Final Solution.
listen, rest his soul. We just lost Colonel De Beers. Colonel De Beers, you know this, Dan. He might as well just been freaking Hitler, for Christ's sake, the way he was.
The only thing they could have done is draw a little mustache on his ass. He would have been exactly that.
Oh, absolutely. No, Colonel De Beers had the
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they would have just cut that off enough, yes.
And that's what it. So,
by the way, fun fact: Colonel De Beers trained Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret.
All I'm saying is this match did nothing.
That's true. That's true.
It did nothing for anybody. This match did nothing for anybody. Everybody left here looking like shit.
Last night,
next one.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
The last match.
Cena and Orton.
I didn't see
It
it.
was just as bad.
I didn't see it. I saw Randy wrestling with an invisible something. I thought Randy was fucking having a seizure out there because there was this. I don't know what he was wrestling because it wasn't wrestling.
Last
All
night.
right, Dan, I'm going to need
Hold
you to
on.
stop.
Hold on. Before we even go there, we have to go back. Before we get to this main event, we have to go back to talk about something that's very passionate in the mind and soul of Gerard Millette. The one thing about wrestling that if it's not perfect, if it's not absolutely correct, it can't be a good match. The one thing that if it's done improperly, the whole match is ruined. You know, you have Dave Meltzer with his 5 stars. Well, Gerard is given less stars than fucking Dave Meltzer because of this one flaw in wrestling, and that's the referee. Can we talk about the turnbuckle incident? Go ahead, Gerard. Tell us how you feel.
To go outside the ring to pick up the turnbuckle cover, okay?
I thought it was a nice touch.
No, here's my problem with that. If it was a consistent thing, absolutely.
Jessica Carr, though.
But it's never been
Jessica
consistent
Carr
on
is
that,
no. Jessica Carr has worked on that ring. She's been a referee. She puts on a mask and she wrestles. She's a Jane of all trades.
God damn it, I love Jessica Carr. Can we just talk about Jessica Carr for a minute?
Can you find a picture of Jessica Carr and put her up on
the Can we do a Jacob's Corner on Jessica Carr?
Wait a minute. Hold on. The quality of her refereeing has gone down since she decided she wants to think about being a wrestler. She's more Aubrey Edwards.
You didn't even know she was going to be a wrestler. How dare you?
She is more Aubrey Edwards.
Do you watch WWE Evolve, Gerard?
Yes.
Okay, good. But listen,
she is more Aubrey Edwards than she is Jessica Carr now.
How dare you? Hold on. If you're going to talk about her, say it to her face.
That's just
absolutely it will.
Honestly, I love Jessica Carr. I think she is one of the best referees in quite some time. The fact that she's back in wrestling now under his name, Calix, we don't know if that's her or not. Again, it's a math wrestler, but
I feel almost bad as her as how they treated Grande Americana.
Oh, well, you know what's kind of like annoying. Like, when was the last time? Again, I would love to Jessica her Carr.
That is Jessica Carr, distorted very horribly, but still,
I'm not impressed.
Again, the fact that she wants to be a referee and a wrestler, supposedly, I don't know, it's cool.
But see, she could look like that, but she doesn't. She's out there putting a bunch of makeup on Gerard. She's out there with
but she doesn't. But she's a great referee too. She doesn't take any attention.
Hold on. She's
we
out
can
there.
Only be great referees because we get the freaking earpiece in our ear.
Gerard, hold on. She's out there in a ponytail. In a ripped shirt. She's not doing stretches. She's just doing her damn job. And
Like
when
I said,
and when
the
they,
only thing I'm missing, the only thing I'm missing from her right now is her doing the Mr. Miyagi pose.
she isn't. She's out there refereeing, and she's not drawing attention to herself.
The hell
She's
you
doing
want?
it. And
You
Ricky,
jump out of the ring to
she's
get a
trying
turnbuckle
to
cover.
protect the athletes.
But I'm saying it's
Yeah,
never.
he
it's
does a
not-
great job.
It's not a consistent thing to where you're going outside the ring and picking up the turnbuckle cover. Oh, it fell off. Throughout the course of history, the turnbuckle cover has never made the referee jump outside the ring to go pick it up and
There
pull
was
it
a
back on.
lull in
Well,
the
when she
action.
refs the match, I'm always watching her initially. So
Yeah,
I
there's
am-
always
there was a
but
lull.
that's bad. If you're watching the referee over watching the match, that's a problem.
There was a
Okay.
lull in the action.
okay, but like
Hold
she's
on,
better
hold
than
on,
most of the
hold on.
females in the
There was a
ring.
lull in the action. She
No,
saw
there
that
wasn't.
opportunity. They were still grappling, but no one was taking a pin. No one was getting submitted. She jumped out there, grabbed it, was in like that, lickety split. Started putting it on, looked over, saw there was a pin, stopped what she was doing, and ran over there. It wasn't like she took 50 seconds or she was super distracted. She saw what was going on. She did her job.
But it's never been done before where it's like that. So why
Because
start now?
she is a hybrid referee. She cared about the safety of the wrestlers in the ring. How dare you? How dare you sit there and deny this woman the opportunity to protect the people in her charge?
And just like the other three ropes, they just, just like this problem is the other three ring ropes. If you saw, they had zip ties holding the turnbuckle cover on.
Oh, so now we're going to be super specific about this? Is that what we're going to do?
Just
So hold on. So hold on. The ring attendant, which you know all about, didn't happen to zip tie this one properly? You're
that
going to
was
get upset?
rope, not a zip tie.
So you're going to tell me that the ring attendant, which you again know all about, made a mistake, and this referee is cleaning up y'all's mistake,
No.
and you're going to get upset?
She should have made it on the turn. Who took the? Wait a minute, hold on. Did it fall off, or was it taken off by one of
It
the
shouldn't have
wrestlers?
been allowed to be taken off, but see, one of your ring attendants, someone
Nope.
like you, could not put the ring together properly.
Nope.
Yep,
Don't blame us,
I'm blaming you.
because guess what? Whoever the union employee was in that,
You disgust me.
Leave Jessica alone.
They were too busy talking and trying to flirt with the wrestler or getting their haircut like Ted DiBiase, so they could not put the ring post on properly.
the ring post,
Whatever, the ring turnbuckle.
the turnbuckle
don't-
cover.
Don't get fucking philosophical with me. You did this. Your people did this. Your ring
Listen.
attendants did this.
Hey, listen, I almost had George Steele get mad at me one time because you know what? The turnbuckle stuff on the inside, right? I almost ripped that apart on him, but my corner wasn't gimmicked, so he actually stopped me.
You know what? Hold on.
Yeah, no. Remember when we were talking about John Cena versus Randy Orton in the main event?
What?
Your buddy Chelson.
What do you do?
What?
This is from Shell. This is from Shell Sonnen. I'm assuming it was a cumulative effect of copious amounts of drugs, barbed wire, and walking barefoot in the ECW arena. Rest in peace, Sabu.
But
But
they haven't been in the ECW arena in 20 years.
it was a slow burn. Bonjour. What's going on, Skullduggery? We're arguing because Jessica Carr is one of the greatest referees of all time.
Oh my
He's
God!
better than Kyoto.
Yes, Jessica Carr is better than Kyoto.
Jessica Carr is better than Mike Kyoto.
Yeah,
Next
better
year
than
we say-
Kyoto.
next-
Better
next
than
year
better
we
than
say-
Jim
Jessica
White.
Carr.
Better-
Jessica Carr has never sold bootleg merchandise out of her.
I didn't say
Jessica
I
Carr
didn't
is not
say
stealing like
Hebner.
Earl Hebner.
I said Dave Hebner.
Jessica Carr is better than Dave Hebner. Who's
Yeah.
What about
connected-
Jody Morella?
All right, well, listen, Jessica Carr.
Really?
I want Jessica
Really?
her Carr, and I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm
she's
gonna go.
doing
I'm
good.
gonna go right down to Jody Morella.
I hope Jessica Carr is
Get outta
doing
here.
good. By the way,
Jessica Carr's refereeing is equivalent to that of one Tony Schimmel announcing.
Oh my God! Please.
I mean, I'd say yeah.
That's right. Skullduggery's with us, and he's also French.
Better. Jessica
I
Carr is
referee
better.
better.
You couldn't referee yourself out of a paper bag.
Yeah, okay.
All right, now I would like to say Randy Orton versus John Cena.
Hold on, we're not done. There was another incident of bad refereeing that Gerard brought up last night during the Dominic Mysterio Penta match when Penta walked out with his cunty walk, and so has been told by my wife.
Okay, well, that's minuscule. Can we talk about the shitty refereeing in the main event?
Hold on, Gerard. Don't you want to talk about the fact that the Judgment Day was all over that match?
Yeah.
And had it not been for the actions of Grande Americano truly cleaning up the
greatest of all time.
Listen, okay.
I'm listening. I got both headphones on.
Last night, when it came to the ending of all the matches, I think the referees had to been invisible last night because every match ending had a screwy finish.
So you're saying that John Cena was also refereeing?
Oh, that match, the ending of that match, Chad Pat made a miraculous recovery.
Wow.
Miraculous.
Wow.
That match should not have ended in any kind of a pin.
Well, El Grande Americano is the greatest luchador of all time, and he is not. See, this coming from a fellow Frenchman.
You weren't here when we were talking about the Blue Blazer. You weren't here.
You do not have your banned from now on this channel from ever talking about the Blue Blazer. Ever.
Okay.
After what you've done
here
and what you said.
About Mil Mascaras. Who's this? Right. Hey, and who's that clown that announces?
Who?
There's Tony Schiavone, Taz, and some clown that wears a mask.
Excalibur.
Okay? Now,
what is your issue with Mexican people?
If Excalibur's Mexican,
Excalibur is not Mexican. If Excalibur's Mexican, then I'm fucking Russian, dude.
You know who else was one of the greatest Mexican wrestlers of all time? El Generico. And y'all trash him.
Okay, that is also true. But no, Excalibur can go fuck himself.
I will hold my thing to the Patriot and Mr. America. Now, if you want to go back to the Masked Superstar, Super Machine 1, Super Machine 2, let's go back to Super Machine. Super Machine would be the greatest luchador of all time. I'm sorry.
You're smoking more crack than Tony Khan.
Giant Machine. Giant Machine is the greatest luchador of all time. He could hit the ropes. I don't think Giant Machine was ever pinned.
Skulldugger, you tell this man. Tell this man. Please educate this man.
Was Giant Machine ever pinned? Giant Machine was the greatest luchador of all time.
You're counting
I think Giant Machine died, right? Like, didn't he?
Yeah, he got pinned by Father Time.
But I'm just saying this, though. Giant Machine. Hey, listen. And then you had another one, Super Machine. Okay? You know what? They took it out.
I bet you liked the Ding Dongs, too, didn't you?
The who?
The greatest tag team in WCW history. The creation of Herd. The Ding Dongs. The guys that came out wearing bells.
Oh, my God. Look at it. Why are we going to deal with Doink the Clown here? I'm saying is Super Machine, he did his job so good, they axed him.
So I guess now that Gerard is showing the senile age and what have you, we'll go on to the main event.
Okay. Main event.
From St. Louis, Missouri, the Legend Killer, the Age of Orton, the leader of Legacy.
The Age of Orton.
I will say
Randall Keith Orton versus the last real champion from West Newbury, Massachusetts, the leader of the C Nation, the speaker of truth, Jonathan Cena.
Jonathan Felix Cena. Okay.
I mean, this was very much a Randy Orton versus John Cena match.
I slept. I actually fell asleep during the match.
No, it was not.
None of their matches have been good. Let's be honest. They have not. Look,
they have had better matches. Honestly, this is one of the cases where, like, if Cope and Chris Jericho had the same match in AEW, then all the WWE fans will just shed all over this. But because like I saw all these people like, oh, this is amazing. We're watching greatness, Randy Orton and John Cena for the final time.
Look, man, I go back to what I've said about this John Cena run. I'm good on him for finally becoming a heel. Good on him. I love this whole "you drank fuzzy lifting drink, you get nothing, sir." I love this mentality from John Cena. I love that he's not cutting his hair. I love that he's embracing the fucking bald eagle spot. All of that. But this is a typical boring ass fucking Cena match.
Would you guys agree that this whole story with John Cena is missing The Rock?
No, fuck The Rock.
No, and as she just said, fuck The Rock.
No.
Yeah,
My question, when I say missing The Rock, because what I mean by that is, would it be more interesting if The Rock was around? Because I'm telling you this right now.
No.
I feel right now.
What is The Rock gonna do? Come out there, fucking?
No, what I'm saying is,
The Rock's gonna drink some Terramana, and The Rock's gonna deal with us.
when they try to change Austin by having him turn with McMahon, the crowd would not let it happen. Why do I feel the same sometimes? Because I'll tell you this right now. If you guys saw in the building last night, how many John Cena shirts did you see in that damn building?
But it wasn't just okay. If you're talking about that, then I'll give you this. Not at the end of the match, whether it's him selling or whether it's part of the character, when they were saying "Thank you, Cena" at the end of the match in St. Louis, in Randy Orton's home, you see the look on John Cena's face. It was like, I can't tell if that's the man or if that's the character. But if it's the man, it's almost like. Hold on, Jacob, hold on. If I'm listening to that and I'm looking at his reaction, if it's the man John Cena, John Felix Cena, going, this is really the last time I'm going to be in St. Louis. Oh my God. Like if it's really hitting him, then that's a beautiful fucking sentiment. If it's not, if it's the character and they're just doing this to turn him face at the very end, I don't know. That's what's more compelling to me. If there's leakage between man and the character, and after 20 plus years of him doing this, the emotion is too much for him, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is really the end."
Do you think that he regrets waiting so long to have this heel run right now?
I don't
know.
know.
I'm telling you, they're not losing a penny in merchandise. Not losing a penny.
I don't know, but I also think that it wasn't his call. I think that this was like him being a face for all these years. I mean, as much as they say look, I'm sure he could have dictated the way matches played out, no different than the Nexus debacle. But I think that Vince wanted him to be a baby, and as long as Vince wanted him to be a baby, he was going to be a baby.
Yeah,
Vince got his next Hogan without saying it.
And he didn't have to worry about this one throwing beers at people.
Didn't have to worry about this one not remembering anything right now either. But they they both got the same hairdo though.
Oh Jesus, the skullet is back.
Here's the thing with this whole Cena situation, like even the situation with him coming out and him looking around and like, "Thank you, Cena," like the thing they released afterwards. I don't know, man. Like, I think that the crowd did not want to boo Cena. And, like, I really think
he's gotten to that point where he's literally like, the man who is, like, you can't not respect what the man has done in wrestling. I mean, you can't. There's no denying.
Hold on. You have seen crowds turn on Hulk Hogan like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it because Cena never had anything come out bad about him?
No, I would say, in all honesty, I think what turned fans around on him was his acting in the movie or in the show Peacemaker. When they got in the movie Suicide Squad, you saw a completely different person when he started doing his acting career. When he stepped away, he really stepped away. So when The Rock came back, right, The Rock is home. He took the belt off CM Punk, and everybody was disgusted. Go back. When The Rock came back, beat CM Punk at the Royal Rumble, people wanted to fucking vomit because it was bullshit. CM Punk should have been in the main event of that year. We didn't need John Cena to Rock to. No one gave a shit. That's what The Rock did. When John Cena left, he left. He would come back sporadically. He wasn't going over on anybody. He was putting over Roman. He was putting over this motherfucker here. He's putting over everybody. So for once, John was doing the right thing. So now that he's come back and this is legitimately his final run, people are like, we're really not going to see this motherfucker anymore. And say what you want. He was Jacob's generation's guy. And Jacob's generation is now grown up. And they get to watch their Hulk Hogan, who you're right, wasn't in scandals, wasn't in a bunch of shit, wasn't in a bunch of fucking, chicanery. You get to see John Cena beat John Cena one last time. Who the fuck does that, Gerard? Who comes out and says a year in advance, this is my last run. He's proven that he can take off and do it but without coming back. He sat there and said, I'm going to be done. And Skulldugger, you're right. Cena should have done the right thing, and it was WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania 30 is Bray Wyatt. That broke my fucking heart what he did to Bray Wyatt. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to hold a grudge. Bray Wyatt is literally on my screen right now because that's my guy. It kills me that Bray Wyatt didn't get the career he deserved, but it is what it is. Right now, I'm watching Jacob's guy do something that, again, no one's ever fucking done. Come out a year in advance and say, this is it. I'm going to do it one more time.
John Cena is not my guy.
How many? He went over 1,000. Where you have the streak with Roman, 1,000 fucking days, whatever. It's 3 years of fucking being undefeated. 3 years of holding that belt. John Cena, the people aren't talking about, did the same thing in reverse. He lost the entire time. And so now they're giving him his flowers, and he deserves it. Look, you're right. You brought it up before, Gerard. For every Make-A-Wish the guy's done, for everything the guy's done, he deserves it.
I want to say, was it like 750 or something like that?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a number like that. But the thing about it is like this. Take away what he's done outside the ring with acting and stuff like that, okay? Let's take a look at just the work that he's done for the business. He carried the company through a couple of rough patches. When they were the only candy store in town, and through it all, okay?
When they were the only candy store in town, he was broccoli. That's the fucking thing.
But I'm just saying is, though, if there was competition out there for him would he have been able to carry the company if there's competition out there?
No.
Okay.
They would be forced to change.
So where does that leave his legacy then if he couldn't have carried that company if there was competition out there?
I get that, Skulldugger. Like me and my ex got into a big argument over that because I literally recorded WrestleMania 30 and she ruined it for me. I had pizza at the house. I got off work. I had it recorded. It was when the WWE Network first was putting pay-per-views on there. And that woman within 5 minutes goes, oh, I heard that this guy has never been defeated. Just got beat tonight.
I remember that WrestleMania 30, the first WrestleMania under the WWE Network. It was all choppy too. I remember I had to have 3 different screens to watch it, and then that's when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. The streak is over.
Listen, the thing about the streak being broken, okay? I wasn't so upset about the streak being broken. I was upset with the guy they had do it.
Well, of course. Again, I love that.
Because I'll tell you this right now.
We're talking about anything other than the Backlash main event.
Okay,
no. I'm just saying is WrestleMania 41. He's not even part of the picture anymore.
Well, but
hold on. The Legend Killer is still part of the picture.
Okay, but hold on.
That streak.
No.
Yes, because his gimmick over back then was the Legend Killer.
No, and here's why. It wasn't powerful enough yet. When he got to Randy Orton, he was still moving up. It was not a big enough streak yet for someone to take it. The one that should have taken it, and you can agree or disagree, whatever you want, was Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt had the same kind of supernatural gimmick. Bray Wyatt was the new face of fear, and when you watch that entire promo between So Randy carried most of the Undertaker's promo on the way to WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt did.
You know who should have broke the streak? Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
It should have been Bray Wyatt, because if you go back, and I would love to play it on here, but I'll get fucking dinged by WWE. If you go back, Bray Wyatt sold the entire feud. And Bray Wyatt showed up with a broken foot because Bray Wyatt believed in the business, being the son of IRS, and said, this match means more to me than my fucking broken foot because I get to wrestle one of my heroes.
Well, and again, like Gerard just said, like had they had Jinder Mahal,
Oh, fuck's sake.
to break the streak, especially like around that time, like it would have been beautiful.
So I guess, Gerard, I didn't see much of the main event because, as my wife can attest, I passed out. I was so fucking bored.
I put it like this: the Chad Patton as a referee, the way he takes his bumps, suck.
Everything about this, everything about this, like 2 refs got taken out, and then another ref came in, and then another ref came in, and then another ref.
That's why I put out there, Jacob. I'm missing Kyoto and Earl Hebner. Every other referee's coming down.
You know what match we did probably get out of this, though, and I'm looking forward to? I mean, he's really up there in the business. He's beloved. You know, he's wrestled all over the world. He was once in TNA, and I think he's finally going to get his due in WWE with this match, with the setup for this match. He's going to get to wrestle a main event caliber fucking talent, and he's really going to do it. Again, he has been a TNA champion, and that is R-Truth. R-Truth is finally going to get his match.
Oh, my
with John
God.
Cena. R-Truth is really, you know, that he's an young up and comer.
I want to see Randy Orton absolutely squash him.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get Randy Orton against Nick Aldis, which nobody cares about. But R-Truth, to relive that wonderful match from years ago at Capital Punishment, you know, where he never got his rematch after beating John Cena in a tables match. You know, he got overshadowed by CM Punk years ago.
Let's talk about Capital Punishment, man. My dad probably, my dad probably still to this day probably hates me because I had to beg him to buy Capital Punishment on pay-per-view because I was not even. It has nothing to do. Want to hear gayer than that? It has nothing to do with John Cena.
Little Jimmy? Did you want to see Little Jimmy?
No. I wanted to see the Alex Riley and Miz match.
Oh my God!
I specifically
say it to my face.
Yeah, I specifically thought I was like Alex, like as a 12-year-old kid, I was like Alex Riley is the next big thing, and I specifically wanted to. My dad bought that pay-per-view specifically for that match.
I just stared at you at the end of it like,
hey, I'm surprised.
No, exactly. No, he was pissed.
Hey,
and then a week after that, here's the funny thing. A week after that, this was the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view for TNA, and like they gave us that for free because the pay-per-view company felt bad. They were just like, "Hey, you bought that?" Like, oh, we had so much. Like, literally, I'm not joking. Like, I could pull up the receipt, but like they felt bad. They were like, "Oh, we'll get you this for free."
Hey, listen,
So
I'm surprised Alex Riley isn't on the podcast with Maven and Nydia right now.
Oh man, poor Maven.
Yeah.
Well, see, like, you know what's sad about that though is that Maven is more successful than Alex Riley is now.
Like I said, Nydia should be joining him too because there's another one.
Nydia. Who the fuck is Nydia?
You don't know who Nydia is?
She's the other tough enough chick, right?
Correct.
There you go.
That, you know, she was another one.
So this was a great main event for a pay-per-view, I feel like.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what, if I would have spent money on this pay-per-view, I would have been pissed.
Do you have Peacock?
Huh?
Do you have Peacock?
I didn't watch. I have a thing to where I don't need to watch the commercials. I didn't watch the commercials at all.
Do you have Peacock?
Yeah,
I have Peacock.
You have Peacock? So yeah, you pay for it.
No, I said I have a service.
I'll pay for it
on pay-per-view, but I don't pay for it. But so I.
So you're stealing cable?
Nope.
I still
part of the service I pay for. But I'm saying is though, I was able to watch it without the commercials, and to watch that main event though, and actually like this is This is garbage.
It was. I fell asleep.
Yeah. It was probably.
I will put the garbage part more on John Cena than I will on Randy Orton, though.
Because John Cena can't wrestle. Let's just call it like it is. The motherfucker can't wrestle. Fucking horrible.
He can't wrestle. Like he can't wrestle. Back in the day, it was told me like, "Oh, John Cena can't wrestle. He can't wrestle." Like he could have wrestled at one point. You know, at one point he could have, but now it's just like
Okay, prototype.
But the fact that Randy Orton is carrying you through a match is really
Randy can wrestle though. Randy can wrestle.
Okay, but listen, like we're not gonna. There were years there where Randy Orton was phoning it in, and like he needed to go away.
He phoned it in. It wasn't that he couldn't wrestle.
Okay, but no, like no.
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute,
You
Jacob.
can't rush past that. There was 10 years there where Randy Orton didn't do a goddamn thing in the ring. And
I
like,
wouldn't say Randy Orton phoned it in.
The fact that now Randy Orton is going to be the workhorse in a match is really concerning.
Hey, I wouldn't say Randy Orton phoned it in. I say
No, he
Randy
did.
Orton. Hey, I say Randy Orton was given the keys to a car that he could drive, that he crashed about 3,000 times, but it still kept getting that car where he could keep crashing it because he was Randy freaking Orton. He, you know, and as a favor to his father, he got the job in the first place.
You're going to talk shit about Randy Orton, who actually is.
I mean, he said it himself. He failed out of the Marines and he had nowhere else to go.
He went AWOL.
Let it go. It's fucking been 20 years. Let it go.
The flag doesn't forget, Dan.
Hey, what I'm saying is, for 23 years, and they showed it last night, almost 24 years, these two guys have been going back and forth, okay? There is no John Cena if Randy freaking Orton would have kept his shit together.
Oh, Randy definitely would have been the guy.
That's it.
They were pushing him to be the guy.
But he kept screwing up. He kept thinking he was bigger than he was. He kept...
So wait, you're blaming last night on history of Randy Orton?
No, last night goes to show you one thing. That Randy Orton, at his age, and John Cena at his age, Randy Orton is still much better than John Cena ever was.
But you're bitching about Randy Orton's fucking past.
What I'm saying is,
I think Randy Orton,
John Cena has been your golden boy for 24 years because he kept his nose clean. Randy Orton, if he had kept his nose clean, we wouldn't be talking about John Cena today.
Okay, do you know who the greats are that didn't keep their nose clean? We still go back and praise greats? Oh, I got one. The one we talked about right before we started this. The one we talked about right before we started the show. The one I said whose shoes cost more than your house. The Nature Boy. Look, sordid career, sordid stuff, but people will still go down and say he's one of the greatest of all time.
I'm
Sabu, who we talked about being one of the greatest high flyers of all time.
Wow, what happened?
Fucking Jake.
I'm saying to constantly have the mistakes in your life that Randy Orton did in his career.
And still at the top of the card.
Well, listen.
Because everybody changes.
Again. Okay. So there, right there. Stone Cold didn't keep his nose clean. And look where his career ended.
Hey,
Stone Cold slapped some women, in his day. Like he beat some women. It's documented.
And it's not right.
It's not right. But listen, Randy Orton, I think we need to thank him for his service.
He did his time, no.
I don't give a fuck. It's not right. He put hands on a woman. And look, this is coming from a Stone Cold fan, a Texas native. It's not right.
Well, he kept his nose clean. He didn't keep his fist clean.
I don't give a fuck. It's not right. Yeah. So look, you can say what you want about John Cena, but not everybody's perfect. And Randy Orton, for all of his faults, all of his stupidity, all his
my question for you.
In the words of Hannah Montana, everyone has mistakes.
Wait a minute.
Everyone has
let's go. We do have one thing with John Cena. His first wife.
So he got divorced? He cheated on her?
For what reason?
Adultery?
Infidelity.
That's between them. He didn't put his hands on her.
That is the ground ship of America. Right?
Okay. What I'm saying is, though, who was he doing the infidelity with?
I don't give a fuck. He was cheating. Okay.
Well, wait, hold on. Should I say, who wasn't he sleeping with before he was with Nikki Bella? At one point, wasn't he with Carmella? And at another point, like I said, Carmella, Nikki Bella. Oh, Mickey James?
I love
Okay.
Mickey James.
So wait. What are you speaking out of both sides of your mouth now? So is John Cena never gotten in trouble, or is John Cena fucking a sex addict? What are you trying to say?
What I'm saying to you
I hope
is
he is. I hope he's both.
he's never gotten into trouble with the law.
Great. Neither is Randy Orton.
Is he the Tiger Woods of the WWE though? Probably.
Who gives a fuck? He did his whatever. John Cena is John Cena. I'm not a fan of his, but he's done his due. Randy Orton, you're holding fucking shit that happened 20 years ago. When's the last time you heard Randy Orton do something wrong?
No, this is self-admitted.
He beat Bray Wyatt for the title.
It took him till about 5 years ago. So his current wife that he's with now changed his life. He's admitted this.
So did Randy. Yeah, Randy said that.
He said it.
Yeah.
And what did he say? It took
The worst thing
years.
Randy has ever done is win the title off Bray Wyatt both times. And
He didn't win it both times. He only won it once, and he beat the.
okay, but he beat Bray Wyatt both times at WrestleMania. You know, that's
What
the
I'm
worst
saying
thing
is,
he's ever done.
he's come out and said,
And he shot and Sable's
20
back.
years
That's
to
probably
find
the worst thing he's
myself.
ever done.
He took me 20 years to find myself, but I realized how much of a prick, how much a dick I was.
Yeah.
Oh, you seen Randy Orton's wife too? Like,
And then
I'd turn
I
a
love the
corner,
line
too.
when he looked at John and said, "John, you need to get yourself some kids."
John's fucking in
Y'all
China
make
right
okay. So hold on. Y'all make no fucking sense whatsoever. Hold on. You're
Don't
criticizing.
say y'all. I didn't do anything.
You're part of this too.
No, I'm not.
You're talking about Randy Orton's wife when we're talking about the seriousness of this shit. And
Yeah,
fucking okay. Hold on. Time out. You're bitching and saying there'd be no John Cena if Randy Orton would have been mature and a grown-up guy in his 20s and not fucking a dumbass who got a bunch of money way too fast, but eventually became a man who's main eventing a card, who's doing his
if you become
damnedest.
a man in your late 40s, then I'm sorry.
I don't give a shit. He did it.
Like,
He
come
did
on.
it. He's not, and you can go back to fucking Randy Orton's career and his life. He never battered a woman. He never he's never done something so heinous that he can't be forgiven.
No, but he had a lot of personal demons. We can all agree on that.
I don't know, Skullduggery. I don't know.
See, but like Stone Cold has battered women, and like
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out, Skuldery.
and like the Rock has never been with a woman, as far as I'm concerned. I always thought the Rock was gay, but he has a daughter. He supposedly has a daughter in NXT.
Okay. Let's just say this.
Surrogate.
The match was not great.
No,
Randy Orton carried that match.
absolutely.
And that's sad. That's
And the
sad.
finish was worse.
John Cena deserves his flowers at the end of the day. I don't like him. Never going to be
No,
a
he
fan.
deserves dead roses after that. He
deserves his flowers for the career that he's had. Say what
Listen,
you want.
I'm not saying anything about his career.
You
I'm
just
saying-
did. You sat there and dogged out Randy
No,
Orton. for fucking-
if you heard what I said, if the other guys around him had not fucked up as much, John Cena wouldn't be who John Cena is.
And if pigs could fly, bacon would be harder to achieve.
Listen, there's places you can go swimming with the pigs, but I could never do that because I'd be looking at them as dinner.
Jesus.
I'm just saying it, and you got to tell me though, with the guys that he went up with, if The Rock doesn't leave, like I said, if Randy behaves,
John is the subject and the consequence of multiple things happen. If Brock didn't take off, if The Rock didn't leave, etc., etc.,
Right.
etc. But the fact is, we are where we're at in 2025. John Cena's on his farewell tour.
remember he
Good
was
for
on his
him.
way. All I'm saying is he was on his way out the door 20 years ago until Stephanie McMahon heard him rapping on a bus.
Okay.
She doesn't hear him rapping. He's out the door because
Great.
okay.
But she did. And
What
he's
I'm
here.
saying is, but in today's world, he's getting his flowers because other guys kept screwing up.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying there is.
Then why are you bringing it up?
The wrestling world is a business where you fail upwards. It really
No,
is.
the
Sometimes you
wrestling
fail
world is a
upwards.
business to where opportunity.
What do you mean? We're not going anywhere after July.
What?
No, this ain't going anywhere.
One thing.
After July.
What's he talking about?
Skullduggery? Where are you
Are
going?
you going to prison?
I'm going.
Why did you assume he's going to prison?
What? After July, he can't talk no more. Can't watch no more. Did you get put in Alcatraz or something?
Jesus.
Alcatraz reopened.
Alcatraz is reopening.
What?
Yeah, it's reopening.
I'm just saying, but you get my point. What I'm trying to mean,
Please clarify the 1 minute we have left.
all I'm trying to say is, with all the other guys, if they stick around, I'm just saying, there's no John Cena. It probably would not where John Cena here.
Gotcha.
Oh, he's getting married, job promotion, moving.
Congratulations. Okay, so here's the deal. We're out of time. I would say it was not a passable pay-per-view. I said one good match, and all of it was the fucking Fatal 4-Way. Jacob Batu is the future of the business. John Cena is getting his flowers, and I'm looking forward to Aldis versus Orton and Cena versus The Truth. We'll see that. Hopefully that turns out good. I'm Dan. That's Jacob, and that is Gerard, and we'll see you next Sunday.
All of you Marks have been listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
Calling all the grappling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops. Jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match with tales and fights that you can't